Okay. Okay, so let's start. Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's leadership table. And today's leadership table promises to be exciting as we host a multi-award winning social innovator, technologist, and data scientist. And this is no other person than Obidike, the Chief Executive Director of Playmakers Africa. It's time for us to meet our guest, Amanda Obidike. She's already online. Please, can you just say hi to everyone online for us? Hello.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. AGK, and I would like to also say thank you to Mayokun and the Yali leadership team for welcoming me on board. I'm trusting to have a good time and most importantly have a very, very interactive session with everyone. So thank you so much for having me on board.
Wow, you're very much welcome. And then today, we're not going to be wasting any more time. We just have to go down to business. Okay, this is the main event, and we have been waiting for, the Fireside chat. I hope you're ready. We have some questions for you, Mark. And then, so before we go on, your listening is not clear. I cannot hear you. I hope you can hear me very well. Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can. I increased my volume. I hope it's better now.
Okay. Okay. My first question for you today is about your table that we actually in technology. About your career. It just happened. How did it start? And what are the words and whys for picking that line of career?
Okay. I didn't get your question clearly, but I'm guessing you are asking what made me delve into technology. Am I correct? Is it just me or is it frozen?
Hello, Amanda. Yeah, he's actually frozen. I can't hear him clearly myself. So let me quickly jump on this. So the question was, you have a career in information technology. How did you get started and what made you to choose that line of work?
Okay, thank you, Mayokun. So it comes as a surprise to a lot of people because my first degree wasn't centered on science or IT related. I went to University of Ife, that's the Obafemi Awolowo University, as my first degree, and I studied business management. Now, there is a huge difference between business management, which is social science, from computer science. So I finished from the university with very good degree, very good grades, but I was unable to land myself on, this dream job that we envisage in school. We always have this perspective of either working in an oil and gas sector or, in energy or in a bank or something. But, it wasn't that way. It was like imagination or reality meeting imagination. So I first started my career in an FMCG organization. But fast forward to 2 years where I was just so demotivated. I was demoralized because I felt that there was more to a job than working Monday through Saturdays, doing the same thing over and over again, counting money, and it was just so boring. And I just decided to quit my job and really start thinking on what I can do to ace myself into better positions. So fast forward to 2018, someone, just connected me to IBM that was having a training in data science and business intelligence. I was initially reluctant because I didn't have any skill or idea in coding or programming, anything. But, when I got to the IBM, I saw the ambience, I saw how things, technology was just moving a lot of things. That was where my motivation started. I put in my best into that program, that training. It was a 2 weeks crash training. So you can imagine sinking or absorbing as many data science tools and resources just in 2 weeks. And when I was in the IBM, I started looking at other wonderful opportunities apart from data science and technology. I found that there was, cloud computing. I found that there was web development, even animation, a lot of things. And most importantly, young people like me do not know that opportunities like this exist as of 2018. And, coming from an African setting, parents have a lot of expectations from you that maybe after one kind of training or after one kind of opportunity, you're going to land yourself in a good position so that you can, relieve the family on some things. It didn't happen that way. And that was when I decided to have a nonprofit organization that would train young people, especially from the university level, who maybe could be underskilled or underdeveloped, giving them these resources, giving them this access, giving them this connection to ensure that, they can transition effectively from education to employment. But fast forward, it's been a wonderful experience because apart from the impact, we've been seeing the numbers through our campus ambassador programs or our mentoring programs where we are also trying to bring in young women and girls to take on technology careers, give them that visibility and above all, give them that confidence. So overall, that was how I started, and it has been a wonderful journey. I'm still learning a lot of things in technology because it's from that knowledge that we're able to, translate it to other communities. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. Ejike, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Can you hear me right now?
Yes. Please go on.
Okay, going to the next question. Okay, going to the next question. We saw that Forbes Science marks you as the African changing the culture fabric for young talent to embrace opportunities. Could you please tell us the effort of yours that triggered that?
I'm sorry, your voice, I didn't hear you well. Can you please repeat it?
I said, okay. I said through your profile, we saw that Forbes Science marked you as the African changing the culture fabrics for young talent to embrace opportunities. Could you please tell us the efforts of yours that triggers that?
Okay, so I think that highlight came in when we recorded the highest groundbreaking mentoring program ever last year. Now, COVID happened, there were a lot of social exclusion. We even recorded, sadly, 2 girls that got pregnant in Tanzania. That's one of our countries that we operate in. And we have this project, Kongoza Mentoring Program. So Kongoza is a Swahili name meaning for leading, to lead. So it's about empowering young women and girls to lead. So this program was all about connecting women and girls that are in Africa and in MENA nations to women, Africans that are in diaspora, to give them this career support, the academic support that they need, and above all, the confidence. Now, it was a virtual program, and it's something that we were really tailoring to people living in underserved communities. So that, because we know that most of them typically may not be able to afford data or have access to the internet and all. So we designed this program where they can connect to these mentors, at least giving 2 hours in a month. And they have like this group mentoring where it's 4 girls paired to a mentor. And these 4 girls are coming from different countries. So it was not just about giving them that support per se through mentoring, but about learning about each other's culture, learning to tell their stories and all. So overall last year, we had a record of 8,050 girls that we mentored. But it was not just about me, it was about young women who were willing to give were willing to give back to the community, because they know that we lack role models, for example, in the continent. And we're already on a stage where they felt that they can really tailor or tell their stories to these girls to inspire them. And from the program, we found out that a lot of girls were getting internship opportunities, remote internship opportunities. Their mentors were helping them through getting scholarships abroad or getting jobs and all. So we found out that we don't necessarily need to have offices in these countries that we're operating in for impact to be felt. And that was when, Forbes Science reached out to us, to talk about the stories, highlight the testimonies and the feedback. And overall, it's been tremendous because we've been having tremendous cohorts, because we have 2 cohorts that run in a year. Every cohort, they have their wonderful stories. They're giving us wonderful things that their mentors has helped them in. Some of them have even left their countries to another African country, due to maybe connection and access that these mentors have given them. So I'm just trying to make you understand that maybe that was, that was one of the highlights that we got from the Forbes Science Council.
Thank you very much for that, Amanda. Please bear with us, bear with the network.
It's fine. I'm happy that you are recording this so that people could get to have access to it after the program. So thank you for doing this.
Yeah. That's actually our method. We ensure that this program is always live streamed. Okay, so Amanda, your profile shows that you are a multi-award winner. Like, if I'm to start reading out your awards now, there are so many, okay? And I'm sure many of our guests have read your profile and they know about these awards. Can you please tell us some of those things that led to, like, okay, the latest one, which you have won this year, talking about the FDM EveryWoman in Technology Award. What would you say are those things that make you qualify for this?
Okay, so FDM was, I think, beginning of this year. But, okay, the awards that, let me just use the word recognition. So it's due to, the work that we do in Playmakers Africa. So Playmakers Africa, for one thing, is a non-profit organization. And one of our mantra is impact first, then profit second. There are a lot of times that maybe there are times where we don't even have resources or tools, to execute projects, but you find out that we are still doing this project. Communities are still being reached out to, we are still liaising with organizations or community-led initiatives and all. So why this recognition has been put in place or have been given to me is because the numbers are there, the metrics are there on the people that we have impacted, because we, apart from this mentoring program that we have that was highlighted by the Forbes Science Council, we have this unique educator training that we have every year. And this training, for example, we've run it in Kenya, Uganda, Nairobi, Ghana, and Nigeria. So we intentionally pick educators from different communities, and we integrate this train-the-trainer approach. So we pick like 2 or 3 educators in the school, we train them, we refine the instructional pedagogy, we give them hands-on tools to ensure that students see science, technology, and engineering as very exciting subjects, especially mathematics, for example. And these teachers go back to their respective schools and train their fellow colleagues. So it's one of the programs that a lot of organizations have seen, or FDM saw, and saw that the metrics were there, that we really impacted these people, and these teachers were also able to go back to their respective schools and integrate it. One good highlight that we got, which landed us a wonderful opportunity and award by STROES as the global. We got the global award for social impact, which was 2 months ago. Was some of our educators that we trained 2 years ago, they got a teacher exchange program for 4 years to the USA. And it was all courtesy of the training that we had in Playmakers Africa. So opportunities and examples like this are, what has given us that amplification in the outside world. And good enough, we also are thankful that these beneficiaries were not only able to go back to their schools and train their fellow colleagues, but they were also able to start being coaches. Coaches, I mean, is training fellow colleagues in other schools and also bringing in these students, helping them to create STEM clubs, helping them, giving them insights on how they can, ideate their solution. Because one thing about STEM is we try to make STEM as practical as possible. We're taking it out of the board and we're bringing it hands-on. These teachers have been able to serve as coaches to help these students to, create something that addresses societal needs. So let me just use this opportunity to say that the recognition that I've gotten has been as a result of the testimonies and feedbacks and the hands-on things that our beneficiaries have been able to create to help society.
Wow, this is really, really interesting and great testimony. Well done. We are so proud of what you're doing. Your profile didn't list that you are a DITA award winner, but I believe you are one as well.
Yes, for this year.
For this year. Wow, wow, wow. Really, really amazing. And well done for the good work, and please keep it up.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's bring it back home to Yali. You are also a Yali RLC alumni. So can you tell us how the program has actually impacted you as a person and helped with your growth as a professional? Okay.
For one thing, I would like, in all honesty, I'm not saying it because of this is a Yali platform. I understand and I've come to this conviction that Yali was a very good foundation for me and where I stand today. Yali was like one of the first fellowships that I got into, and it gave me a lot of friends for free. These friends have become family to today because when I got in, we were one of like the core admins. We were helping to administer and manage, the cohort programs cut across the different countries and all. So Yali really exposed me to understanding different people and their community, and also getting to see how I can collaborate with them. A lot of people are doing wonderful things in their community. For example, the country coordinator for our team in the Gambia and Liberia, I knew them through Yali program. So it has been like a family where you see like-minded leaders who are willing to champion change, and they are above all willing to key into your vision. So Yali has been good to me, and honestly, I can't leave my story without saying that I'm a proud recipient of Yali.
Okay.
Amazing. I always love it when I hear such testimonies about the impact of the Yali training, which we have gone through, because I myself, I can really testify of that impact in my life today. Yeah. So it's good to, to know that someone like you is doing quite a lot in the space, is a member of this very network. All right, so let's talk about education in Nigeria in general. Last week, there was this conference in Abuja where I stay, by the National Association of Computer Science Students. I happened to be at the event as the anchor, and I got interacting with Nigerian students. And one of the things I learned is that, computer science students were telling me openly that there's not much of practical in what they learn. It's usually theory. And most times you have to do a lot of learning on your own if you really want to build anything worthwhile and make an impact. Now, what would you suggest as a solution to this problem that we are facing in the education sector?
Okay, thank you, Mayokun. Okay, I would really be very, very realistic here. It may not be the best kind of answer that everyone wants to listen to. But one thing that I want us to understand that this is our reality. We have a fragmented education institution in Nigeria, no doubt about it. Our curriculum, the mode of study, the syllabus, everything is not being geared to the future, which, you know, the future is talking about future of work, is talking about technical, digital skills, etc. We're not really seeing it in our institution. But apart from these excuses, what do? I feel that students, especially university students, have to come out of this narrative and this excuse and look for how we can develop ourselves together. Let me give you one reality, one example. So I don't want to disclose this federal university, but these students, for example, he's a third-year student. He reached out to me last 2 years and, you know, was asking for suggestions on kind of tools that he should engage himself with. And I showed him like this Arduino toolkit. Trust me, when I was bringing everything out, asking him questions and all, he didn't know what these parts are or these components are. And, you know, I was like, these things are being taught in your school. Yes, and when he saw like the diagrams, he actually said that he has seen it, but, you know, on the books, but he hasn't felt it. But now we needed to like come out of that phase. And I told him that I gave him a CD, letting him know how to use an Arduino, apply it and all. And it was really exciting for him. Before you know it, he involved their course rep, for example, in the university, and they started using it to build things. The reason I'm giving this example is, if our institution is not giving us what we want, is not giving us the resources, we should be able to research and look out for opportunities that we can use in improving ourselves. Because take it or believe it, after your 5 years in university as a computer science student, you may not still be able to get yourself that job that you want because you don't have the practical skills, you don't have the hands-on experience. But you may see university students from, for example, from Covenant University or Queen's University getting this job, and you're asking yourself what is wrong. That was exactly the problem I had in the university. I just had the certificates, but I was not truly certified because I didn't have the skills that can differentiate me from another graduate. So there are two ways to go about this. One is develop ourselves. Thankfully, we have the internet, we have YouTube, we have videos, we have Udemy courses. We can start developing ourselves. For example, I would like to chip or point to a lady called Blessing Akpan. Blessing is in the university. I know her one-on-one, but I can tell you for free, she's on this call, I can tell you for free that Blessing has grown and has grown herself in a very, very wonderful way that when she's leaving the university, she may not find it very difficult to have a job because she has soaked herself into skills. She has helped herself maybe in animation. She's teaching and educating teachers. She's taking students through boot camp. She is growing herself on the job. That's one of the examples that I can give on how to go about this. Then the second one is, on a broader level, which involves, like educating these educators, giving them these adequate resources that they are able to integrate. For example, organizations, for example, like Oracle and IBM, they are intentionally having these programs that they are going into universities to give educators resources. For example, we had this partnership with Oracle, and Oracle wanted us to get as many tertiary educators as possible, give them these resources, cloud credits, a lot of things that they can buy on the internet, but give them through us. So opportunities like this means like we need to start leveraging with these technology organization companies who can help us to upskill these teachers in their various schools. So two ways. One is young people grooming themselves to have these adequate technical skills for the future. And secondly, is trying to see how we can liaise with these lecturers, educators in tertiary institutions, and give them this resource tools where they can adequately integrate it into their environment of learning. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does. Thank you for that. And I'm glad you mentioned Blessing Akpan. She is a personal friend of mine too, virtually, and I'm proud of the work she does. Thanks. That's a great idea and a suggestion from you. Different sources. We don't have to wait for what teach us because it's not up to date. So me that this network is very okay now. So I'll just hand over to him. Dr. Matthias, over to you.
Okay. Okay, I'm back, and then I hope everyone can hear me now. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you. Please go on.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Please go on.
Yeah, the second question I want you to ponder on. I saw what an excellent answer you gave to the first question, and I'm very, very impressed. So the other question I want to ask is this question is actually related to the previous one, and how will you advise the students in this vast system of education? How will you advise them to develop themselves?
Sorry, I think you need to make that louder. I did not hear you well.
Okay, I said this question I'm about to answer is related to this question that you just answered now, to the previous one. How will you advise these students in this vast system of education to develop themselves? How will you advise them? What kind of advice will you give to them that, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you have to develop, themselves. So that's the question actually. I hope you got it.
Okay. Yeah, so first things first, I would advise that you start leveraging on healthy networks. Not all networks are healthy. For example, I don't want to sound too bad, but there are some networks that you could say, maybe they're the BB Niger network. That's if you are into showbiz, right? No problem. But there is a kind of network that you want to aim for. Maybe you want to be a technologist. You can start looking out for a network of like-minded people who will not only share opportunities with you, but they can share resources with you. As we grow, we begin to realize that network really pays. I can tell you for free that there are a lot of opportunities that I've gotten where I am now. It was just through network. And network, I mean, is recommendation. They were able to say, please give this to Amanda, she can deliver. So we need to start leveraging on, some people are in the waiting room. So we need to start building network, identify with networks like this. For example, Playmakers Africa, we have this community approach kind of thing where different countries can, decide on a project that they want to do and all. There are a lot of people that come up to us and say they want to volunteer. Now, they're not only volunteering to give us their time and their resources, but they want to learn because they are looking forward to one day opening up their NGOs or starting a business. They need all these ideas, and we're giving it to them for free. There are communities also that people are already having that once opportunities come, they just extend it to somebody. So one of those things I would say is leverage on healthy networks, in quotes, healthy networks, because not all networks are healthy. Then second one is be open to learning. Life is a process. I'm here. Some people may think that, oh, my life, I've actually gotten to my actualization stage. No, I haven't. I'm still learning. There are a lot of things I want to leverage on. There are a lot of people that I want to, tap from their ideas, their resources, their knowledge. Be open to learning. YouTube is there, for example. There are a lot of courses that are free out there. get involved. And another thing, volunteer. Sometimes it's not just about money, but because of that experience, and you don't know who you are meeting in the process. Like I give an example, Yali. Abubakar Sadiq Isa is here. He was a fellow in the same cohort. We've never met ourselves, but we keep sharing ourselves on social media because he's doing amazing, I'm doing amazing. And we one day, who knows, he may want to do a project in Kano and he may reach out to me and say, Amanda, let's do this together. That's to show you how connection, works. So try to leverage on healthy networks, open to learning, be researching, because life is a phase. Then the third one, I don't want to sound too spiritual, but it's really realistic. Everything is about, not just only about your faith in God, but another thing, connecting to the supremacy. There's always a supremacy being. So even if you are doing your work, just like what the Bible says, except the owner checks the house. I don't know how this is the builder watcheth in vain. No, except the builder. Sorry, I just want to. Okay, what I'm just trying to say is, in as much as we put in our efforts, if God don't crown our efforts, everything we're doing is in vain. So whatever you are doing, just ensure that there is always this supreme being that you are believing in, your faith, and allowing that faith work for you. So I don't know if that helps, but that's actually what has helped me to come this far.
Okay, wow. That was thank you very much for that answer. Thank you very, very much. Okay, thank you. I wanted to know too, as a person with an opposite experience and expertise in technology, do you think adopting an electronic voting system in 2023 election would in any way prevent the tradition of electoral manipulation in Nigeria?
Sorry, give me a moment. My light just went off.
Okay.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Okay. My question is, looking at the 2023 voting, looking at the 2023 election. So my question is, as a person with an opposite experience and expertise in technology, do you think adopting an electronic voting system in 2023 election would in any way prevent the tradition of electoral manipulation in Nigeria? You can bear me witness that recently, that in the House of the Senate, they wanted to pass the law that they should go on electronic voting and the rest. Why some of the lawmakers said no, that there is a lawmaker said that in his village there's no MTN, there's no connection, there's no network. So what will you say about that? What do you think is the way forward? Do you think adopting an electronic voting system in 2023 would in any way prevent the tradition of electoral manipulation in Nigeria?
Yes, I believe so, because technology is not. A lot of times people think that maybe technology is something to help manipulate things, but I understand that technology is actually meant to aid us. So if we're bringing out an initiative, for example, where we want to have electronic monitoring for better accountability and transparency during the election, I would say go ahead, because it's not just only going to help in transparency, it's also going to help in accuracy, it can help in promptness, to avoid, the manual counting or saying, okay, this one was not well thumb printed, etc., etc. So I would say overall that technology is something that we should be able to leverage on, especially in this modern day and time. It's quite unfortunate that we will still be hearing stories like election rigging, for example, in today's world, when a lot of countries are already going into automated counting or automated, using electronic devices like that. So I would say we should leverage on it, because, technology is not going to be biased. unlike, how manual how people can, easily manipulate, countings and all. So I would say that, yes, we should be able to leverage on it, which I'm hoping that we should be able to finalize on these decisions before the elections coming up in 2023.
Okay, but some of them actually laid emphasis on hacking and the rest. So are you trying to say that like going adopting this electronic voting, that there will not be any bias, like maybe like hacking, or there will be, but it will not be as using normal manual voting?
I don't think it will. I think that before someone will maybe want to hack it or so, it could be someone that is in the system, or maybe there is no strong firewall and all. Because I believe for us to, move this electronically, we should be able to invest in security. Security, I mean electronic security, where it's not something that can be easily manipulated, or it's not something that can be easily hacked, etc. So I still am a fan of, us using it electronically, to help us in our forthcoming elections.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay. I wanted to know too, what specific advice do you have for ladies, women who are aspiring to pursue a career in technology? Because some people used to see technology as main things, like, the main are the ones going for a computer. If a lady said, I'm reading computer science, everybody will be shocked. Well, so they feel like it's the main, it's meant for the guys, you understand? No, the girls are not supposed. The girls are supposed to go for communication, mass comm, and the rest, and all that. So, what do you have to say? What specific advice do you have for ladies, women who are aspiring to pursue a career in technology?
Okay, I think it should start from us, where we should be able to start encouraging our sisters, our friends who are girls, and women around us to take on opportunities in technology. And not only technology, we have untapped resources in engineering and in aviation. I recently visited an engineering organization, and out of like 200 staff, 3 were just women, and they decided that from next year, their recruitment will be really intentional in picking women. So why I'm saying this is fields like technology, engineering, or mathematics, which is aviation, we have very, very few women there. We need to start encouraging them and start sensitizing them on the need of delving or getting ourselves into these various fields. Then one of the advice I would give is, which I always mention it, is getting mentors. Mentorship cannot be overemphasized. We need to start learning from people's experience, from people's story, from people's network, or from people's ideas, and start integrating it into our lives. So I would advise, young girls, young women and girls, to start looking out for mentors. Now, you may not say, okay, just meet a woman, for example, that you look up to and say you want her to be a mentor. Sometimes people get turned off. You can start like shadowing them. When I say shadowing them, I mean like getting to see what their work is through LinkedIn or social media. Follow them, see how they respond to things, see the content that they create, learn from these resources that they put all out there. And who knows, you could just send them an email or send them a message and say, oh, I'm inspired by this. I learned something XYZ from something that you shared based on this. They'll really, really be inspired. And another thing that helps is not something I'm forcing anybody, but this is something that helped me recently. So when I was delving into technology 2 years ago, I looked out for 12 women that I really am so inspired by their work. And typically, I can tell you for free that it's not easy to access these women directly. But I was able to, put a call their companies, and they had to give me like their mailing address for the companies. Now, what I did in that December was very, very challenging for me, but I can still tell you for free that it's what has moved or what's helping me today. I got some gifts. We were 12, so I got some things put it in a parcel, and sent it to them and wrote them letters by how I'm inspired by the work that they do. I can tell you for free that 8 out of those 12 responded back to me. And you can see from their responses that they were really moved. Because why? The society, once people are influential, the society is just about getting from them. But nobody is giving back to them because we feel that they have everything. But for them to have responded and told me that this, what I really did really moved me, and or they had to start looking at the work I do, they started giving me extra time, giving me advice, giving me certain kind of access, is something I never imagined. But this was a step that I took. So I'm putting it all out to everyone. Someone that inspires you, reach out to them, buy them a wonderful gift, sacrifice it. You're not doing it because you want to get something in return, but you're doing it because you want to tap into that unique resources that they have in them. That resources can be wisdom. That resources can be intelligence. That resources can be how they speak to people. It could be communications. It's not something tangible, but it's something that you really see in them and you want it to be much more in you. And that's how, my turning point began. So let's look at how to, sacrifice and invest in these people to get like 100% return.
Matthias, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
I can't hear you. I don't know if anyone can hear you. Matthias?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm here.
Yeah, but you're not. Proceed now.
Okay. I'm here. And then, what about our guest? Please, can you bring out the light? It should be someone just was a very big mistake just now. Hello. Okay. So we should be proceeding to the next question. The next question is, with your knowledge and skills, can you tell us some of the ways you tend to make more impacts in the society? You have talked about this and the rest. So we want to know, how are you going to make, what are you doing? What are things you are putting in place to make more impact, like most especially in our community, in our community, what are the things that you are putting in place, and ways you are trying, your intent to make more impact in our society. So I want you to throw my light on that.
Okay, so so this is something that I'm looking at into next year, and I actually started it this year, and it's going into policy now, driving policies. I realized that it's one thing to design projects, community projects. You are doing something in this state or in this country. It's another thing to make it sustainable by involving the government. So even if you have it as a pilot intervention, they should be able to run with that idea even if you're not around, and it still drives down to policy. So recently, I got this opportunity, where we are in the AU cluster. Now, as being in the AU cluster is to ensure that you are able to design a policy that is targeted to educator training. So God willing, by the time we are done with all the framework, we should be able to integrate these things across other African countries, where countries typically should think about training their teachers, especially in STEM. Now, we know that there's been this consciousness on, technology, integrating technology into institutions, which is fine. But now we're trying to be very, very intentional, where we're going to start from the local level. So it's not just like about the federal government. Local level or local government should be able to have like 1 training or 2 trainings in a year, give them these resources, which good enough organizations like maybe Microsoft, Oracle, and IBM are already giving these free resources to schools. But there's another thing, not too many of these schools or these countries know that all these resources are available for free. So it's about connecting these organizations to these local level initiatives or local councils to ensure that they are able to not just train these educators, but are able to give them that adequate resources that they need. So overall of what I'm saying is driving technology change and technology advancement in education through policy making.
Wow, that's great. That's great. But I want to know, like, when you have when you have people like, because I know someone that is into this technology of the thing, like training the get child technology, like that's what he called the campaign in technology, training the get child in technology, and but it's just like he starts off, or should I say, it's a new an innovative idea that the guy is just trying to put out there. So I want to know, like you're saying, like, can we actually, since you have, can we actually connect these people like to your STEMi, to you, so that maybe they can actually have one or two trainings too with you, so that they can actually build up themselves and the rest, so that they can be able to give back to the society. Because I believe you cannot just be everywhere, like we were saying. So there are some other people that are actually trying to do the same thing in their own community, in where they find themselves, and they really need maybe kind of a partnership or something like that. So so how do we do this? Should we connect them to you, or is there anyhow you are working on that?
Okay.
Make these people
Okay, thank you. So it depends on what exactly we aim or the person aims to achieve. I know in this conversation, I've shared like 3 approaches on how we drive STEMi, which one is through the educator training. The second one is through the mentoring, but the mentoring is just focused on women and girls, where we connect them to Africans in diaspora. Then the third one is a campus ambassador program, but we don't do that campus ambassador program single-handedly. We try to work with as many tech organizations as possible, because we know that students are naturally very enthusiastic. They want to get their hands on something. So we don't just go there and talk, but we try to see how, after speaking with them, we're able to give them that resource tools that they need to move. So it depends on what exactly this person or this community aims to achieve. Then we can now streamline a project or a program to help in this case. But having mentioned these 3, anybody can feel free to connect with us. You can just shoot us an email. You tell us where exactly you want to do it. I don't always necessarily have to be there. We have different country coordinators or different state coordinators, depending on where you want to do it. Then we just connect you to them, and you can run the initiative together.
Wow, thank you very much. Please, can you kindly drop your contact? I don't know if you are on LinkedIn, you can drop your LinkedIn contact, your email address, and then your phone number, so that anyone that, because I can see people online, maybe they have something like that they want to actually share with you, they can actually contact you directly. So you can just drop it at the chat box, and then from there, so that they can actually get in contact with you, directly from there. So I feel that would be more better on there.
Okay. Yes, I've done that. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know, and lastly, Mal, is there something we are leaving out here that needs to be addressed? Is there anything that you want to tell us that needs to be addressed before we can actually call on? Because I know definitely people have questions that they want to ask. So the attendees want to ask questions too. So, but is there anything that we are not actually is there anything that we are leaving out here that you want to actually throw more light on?
Okay. I just want to give this advice. Is a syndrome that I've seen exist in our today's world, where we want to okay, my light has come. My light has come. This is the Nigerian setting for you.
Up NEPA.
Okay, so I was talking about this syndrome that we see exist in today's world, where it's like a copycat syndrome. So people, we hear that technology is the thing, or animation is the thing, or AI is the thing, and everybody wants to jump into. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so it's sorry. One syndrome I want to talk about that exists is this copycat syndrome. So this copycat syndrome is AI is the thing, technology is the thing, everybody just wants to jump into it, not really understanding why exactly I'm jumping into it. Am I jumping into it because that's the thing of the world now, or that's where money is, or because I want to make a change? We need to stop and ask ourselves, why exactly do we want to move to the next stage? And what do I need to move to that next stage? Because why? It's not everybody that jumps into technology that prospers. Let me just give you that as a fact. There are people that will be there, they are looking for jobs from year to year. Why I need us to really get this right is because if we are having expectations and those expectations don't come, it is your passion that will make you to still be resilient on that. Do you understand? I had a passion. I know that for example, I've never really found myself really like after I did yearly, I felt that, community is my thing. I'm going to do it not because of some people are like, you need a job somewhere that will help you in it. And I was like, let me just keep running about it. But it still landed me good to where I am today because I felt impact first. I need to start helping young people like me in the university so that they will not come out from the university without any job and demotivated. Do you know what it is to be demotivated? You can be so suicidal. You may want to kill yourself because from month to month, no money is coming in. You're either depending on your parents to get you something. So we need to come out from this copycat syndrome and ask ourselves, what exactly do I want to do? How do I see myself in 5 years' time? What do I need to get myself in 5 years' time? If I don't get myself here in 5 years' time, what is the next thing, or how can I do it to, get better? So all these things are things that we need to start looking at and start designing a niche for ourselves. Okay, a lot of people are doing amazing. For example, I know someone has told me, oh, why don't you just convert STEMi to a startup? And I was like, no, we don't need that money for that. We just want to make impact. So ask yourself, what exactly do you want to do? We have different destinies, we have different goals, but at the end of the day, we still have to finish our race. So overall, don't let anybody run your race. You create your race, create your lane, also create your jersey, your jersey that you're going to use to run that race. And, I will still reiterate this, connect with people. People are the ones that get people to where they are. Connect with them genuinely, whether through mentoring, whether through networking, and all. Leverage on those networks, and you will be surprised that you will see how this network can take you to the alpine heights you want. So that's it that I have to share. I would welcome any concerns or questions you may have.
Well, thank you very much. There's one thing I picked now. You said choose your niche. That what you're trying to tell us is that choose what gives you joy, like what you are passionate about. Not because someone is doing it, you also want to go and do it. Because it's technology, you just rush and say, my owner is technology. Well, thank you very much. In short, I've learned so much from this. You understand? You just have to choose what you have passion for, because the bottom line here is that you have been passionate about technology, and that's the drive. It's not about to make it's not more about the money or the distance. You just have to choose what you're happy doing, and even when anything is not coming forth, you are happy doing it. Thank you very, very much. I'm so happy today. You did justice to every shot I've done. So, but I want to give opportunity to our attendees, our esteemed attendees, and I don't know if anyone has any question. Our guest is still much available. She's here to take any question that you have, any question, any suggestion. She's here, and I believe she will do justice to whatever question that you have. So please, then you can feel free to signify if you have a question, so that we can actually put it forth. So I don't know if you have a question, please signify. You can raise your hand up, or you can type on the chat box, so that we can actually give you the opportunity to answer your question. So anyone with question, please, we are waiting. Okay, so someone just posted on the chat box, Blessing Akwan. She said, "Thank you so much, Miss Amanda. I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot from you. I always do. Thank you. Thank you very much. And me too." We are still waiting for a question. Oh, okay. In absence of no question, I really want to take this opportunity to thank our speaker today, Miss Amanda Obidike. Okay, someone has question. Okay, so I just want to use this opportunity to thank our speaker today, is Miss Obidike Amanda. I'm so happy today. Short, I've learned a lot. After this, I hope to connect further to ask more questions personally on my own. I really want to thank everyone today that took their time to come here to be online today for this leadership table session today. And as our manner is, we have rounded up the Fireside today, and then we are going to be going for leadership table. We're going to be entering the breakout room. We are in the breakout session right now. So the breakout session is where you get to meet, where you get to meet personally and then share one or two things with your fellow Yali member, and then or your fellow attendee. So as we are about to go for the breakout room right now, so within some minutes